Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Steve from Linux, by the way. And first and foremost, thank you to everybody who's liked and subscribed. We recently went above 10,000 subscribers, and so the Linux momentum just keeps going. It's super excited. And I recently had to travel across the country to Boston, Massachusetts, and I wanted to give you a travel report traveling with a Linux laptop. And so the first thing was I had to pick which laptop. So I have some MacBooks around here. I have a Framework 13. I have a lot of different devices, especially if you count my family's devices. And so the one I ended up going with is the ThinkPad X1 Carbon. This is the 2025 model. It's the Aura edition. I picked it up from Micro Center and it's like $16.99 or something before the RAM crisis. I don't know what it is right now. But it's a great laptop because it's got the Lunar Lake chipset, so it easily gets above 10 hours of battery for me, and I've never actually gone longer than that, but I think I could because basically when I'm using it day to day, it uses like 4 watts or something, and so it really doesn't take a lot of battery for me to do my tasks, but also it's thin and light, and it's probably my thinnest and lightest laptop of all my laptops. And so it's got the typical Lenovo qualities. It's very durable. And so even though it's thin and light, it's not like I can flex it or anything. It's very sturdy, especially packed up like this. And so I have no fear shoving it in my backpack, which also has another laptop in it because even though I'm traveling, I still run businesses and I'm on call and all that. And so I really need to bring 2 laptops with me. And so I still have to shove this in there with another laptop. And so if you've ever had to travel for work or anything, you probably know the pain of that. And so this one just fits and it doesn't sort of overburden it. And I also don't got to worry about getting smushed in there. So it's definitely the best choice for me. And then also I've dropped it a few times. It still works great. And so I'm not worried at all about the durability. Whereas if I drop my MacBook or something, it's not quite as good, especially if you drop it like a corner or something, right? Like you're definitely going to dent it. This is a lot more durable. And the way they do that is sort of through some aesthetic changes, right? So like there's this little bar right here and there's this sort of different material that makes it really resistant to those things, but it's a different design than a MacBook. And so I ended up using it across Boston for 6 days. So it was quite a lot of time as my only laptop. I never actually got paged or anything, so I never had to open my other laptop. I just used this one, and we went to all sorts of places. The first place we went was the Boston Public Library, which was absolutely gorgeous. It's one of the most beautiful libraries, and they just have such amazing architecture there. And it was really set up to be just clean, nice, safe, a great place to get work done. And so I would just love to co-work from there even one day. It's just such a great setting and everybody was friendly and helpful. And they have just a lot of things to look at in terms of the architecture and these beautiful lions and this history and this courthouse type thing with all these records. And so there was no shortage of things to do, which could be a distraction, but I was also able to get some work done and some programming done working on some websites. And while in Boston, I only took public transit. So I did a bus from the airport to the hotel, and then the rest of the time we used the T, which is their subway system / above ground trains, which all worked great. There was plenty of availability of transit. But most importantly is it wasn't like crazy crowded where I couldn't move around or anything. And in this case, I was able to use my laptop. And so sometimes we would travel from the Boston City Center out to different places, and I would have about a half-hour ride, and I could pull my ThinkPad out, and everything worked great, and I was able to tether to my phone, so I had a hotspot there and internet, and I could definitely even get work done just while commuting around the city. We rode about every line you can think of, and so we rode the green line and the red line and the orange line and maybe the purple line and all sorts of different things. And I had no problems using it. And in terms of the Linux aspect of it, everything worked great. So I connected to all sorts of Wi-Fi portals and hotspots and everything. There is the caveat there with the captive portals. Sometimes those can be annoying. And so what I always do is whenever I connect to Wi-Fi, I go to neverssl.com, which is ran by Colm from AWS. And basically it will never have SSL. And so whenever you want to go there, it'll actually redirect you to the portal on any of these things. And so that's kind of how I get around any sort of login issues. But it worked fantastic. And I really didn't have any constraints or anything. The only downside so far to having a Linux laptop on the go is video editing. With the ThinkPad being a Lunar Lake, it actually does have pretty powerful graphics and certainly it can compile things. But I don't want to run DaVinci Resolve on it. It gets hot, it's very slow, and the Intel graphics really aren't as compatible as the NVIDIA graphics are on my desktop behind me. And so if I was to travel with my MacBook, I can use Final Cut Pro to edit videos on the go because it's super optimized for that and I have no problems whatsoever. But editing on the go with the ThinkPad is not quite as sleek. And traveling across Boston can't be overstated for just how beautiful it is. Such a great area, so much history there. I got to go to Boston College, which was an amazing campus. Just the architecture was stunning. It's not like some of these like big box universities where their buildings are very generic or ugly or just cold or brutalist or anything. This campus was just gorgeous. And the interesting thing here is wherever I traveled in Boston, I was hoping to find other Linux laptop users, but I didn't. Almost everybody in this area appears to use MacBooks. So I actually went to the college bookstore just to see what they had on sale. And interestingly enough, it was just a MacBook table. Like there wasn't even a bunch of Windows laptops. All the college students are just using Apple devices at this point. Nobody's really picking up Windows devices. And I went to 5 other colleges during my trip. So I can say that with pretty decent authority that at least in this area, Windows really isn't big and Linux really isn't big. It's all Apple as far as the eye can see. And interestingly enough, you don't find this in all cities, but I did find a Google store. And so I went in there and I hung out, and the only downside to it is that again, with the sort of Apple-centric thing that I was observing, I was the only customer there. There was nobody else who even walked in. I was there for about 30 minutes. I played with the Pixel Fold. I looked at the Pixel Buds, and they had some cool accessories like coffee cups and stuff, but the foot traffic was not there. There was nobody in the Google store. And so maybe that's because people are looking for a better Pixel phone for the next generation, whereas maybe the average Android user, if they want a flagship, they're probably getting a Samsung at this point just because it does have the screen, the processor, the manufacturing quality and all that, whereas the Pixel has more of like the operating system's better, but the hardware is starting to lag. I also had the chance to go in various college libraries, and I found a ton of great Linux books. So if you need to research Linux or program in Linux or want to know anything about it, these universities have such a selection, it's amazing. So compared to my local library, it doesn't hold a candle. There are just hundreds upon hundreds of programming books and all sorts of them. And one of the interesting things about books is that like there's the mainstream books where like maybe they're 30 or 40 bucks. But there's some books which go really deep and are really excellent, like people don't know about. And these libraries have those too. And so if you kind of want to go from like normal to expert, some of these books will get you there and you just wouldn't even know they exist, right? They're not going to be on the normal Barnes and Noble shelf or anything, but they are on these campuses. And so great to see all the Linux support there too. We got to visit all sorts of places, from the infamous cop slide. If you don't know what it is, Google it. It's a big metal slide that you can like get knocked out on and all that. And it was a great town. And I took it on multiple planes and it fit in the tray. The size is such a huge factor here, but I was able to get work done and use the internet and connect to the in-flight Wi-Fi, no problems whatsoever. And the videos are gonna make it look super cramped, but it's not as cramped as the video lets on. So when I'm doing a video, I'm trying to type and do the normal things and hold a phone, and there's just not a lot of space there to do it. So in terms of practical usage, the X1 Carbon definitely works well in that setting. And if you're wondering about the specs, this is the Lunar Lake with the 258V. It has the performance and efficiency cores, which is sort of a mixed bag. They don't really work nearly as well as other things, but again, because I get such good battery life, I've never cared. When I'm doing big intensive stuff, I'm doing my desktop, this is mostly to SSH into things or to do programming related things. And yeah, I compile like Rust and stuff, but I don't really do anything too crazy. And that compile is very ephemeral, right? It happens like in a few minutes and then I'm done and then I'm back to my normal usage again. It also has a 1920 by 1200 touchscreen, which is IPS and matte. It worked really well. I don't like working on OLEDs. I think that OLEDs are a problem because the backlights just degrade over time and there's uneven things and all that. I don't have to worry about any of that. Although I really didn't use the touch screen because I hate touching the screens. But when I was on the airplane, for example, sometimes it actually was a little easier to scroll just by like touching the screen. And that all worked under Linux just fine. Didn't have any issues there. It comes with the Intel Arc 140V graphics, which is pretty good, but it's just not good for video editing under Linux. And again, that's because I'm optimized for NVIDIA with DaVinci Resolve. And I think if you do Windows, you might have a better shot at it. But being such a thin and light laptop, it's not like the MacBooks. So the MacBooks, I can edit 4K plus video and you'll never even hear the fans. It's so optimized. They have the codecs on chip and all that, and everything just works. Whereas with these thin and light laptops, I'm not doing anything intensive on them besides like watching videos or things like that. Definitely not editing them or running that through because it just takes too much effort. And then also, I only have a terabyte of disk in there, so I have to be kind of careful with exactly how much video I load on the laptop and everything too. And so all in all, traveling with the Linux laptop was a success. The ThinkPad works great. I didn't actually drop it or anything, so I didn't have to worry about the durability, but it worked on the transit well, it worked on the plane well, it connected to all the different Wi-Fi access points. It was easy, it was thin and light, the touch screen worked, the touch point worked, the trackpad worked, everything was great, the battery life lasted. So I really didn't have any concerns. It was just kind of another laptop and I was able to use it. And I'm sure that anybody watching this channel probably has had very similar experiences, but this is for just the broad YouTube. And so let me know what you think down in the comments below. What's your travel setup? How are you getting from place to place, whether it's boat, train, plane, whatever, and making sure that you don't break it, but also getting use out of it. And I'll catch you in the next one. Later.